Hey guys! So a few people asked for me to do a tutorial on finishing off the scarf. So if you've watched the first video, we're at this point, we have this long tube. So I'm going to show you how to finish it. So you're going to take your hand, I'm going to start with the spot is with the zipper. So just going to take our hand, take a scrunchie off. We're going to take our hand and we're going to go down. And the easiest way to do this is keep your hand flat, like up towards the ceiling, and follow your seam, okay? So this is going to help you keep this so you don't accidentally twist this, because you don't want to twist it, because then your scarf's going to be kind of like if you've done the other neck warmer headband thing, you'll accidentally get that effect, that circling or the twistiness. So make sure that we're not doing that. So I'm going to take this and hold it, and I'm just going to bring it towards me and pulling it back through the tube, and I'm just holding on to it. Let's see where this opening is, and we're just going to keep pulling. I'm going to keep pulling until I'm right here. So now I've got it like this. I'm just going to butt these ends up. I'm going to put a clip right there. And we've got this hole. It looks like this. And we're just going to clip around, okay? So I'm clipping around like this. And once you have it all clipped, we're going to go ahead and take it to the machine, okay? Okay, so we've got it clipped. So I don't want to start right where my seams are, because I don't have to ladder stitch that later. So I'm going to start a little bit farther. So we've got this big tube. Make sure you're putting this tube through there so we're not accidentally getting the other fabric on top. And you can see my starting point is back. Or not my starting point, but the original seam where my zipper and stuff all is. I'm starting it back there, okay? So I'm gonna start right here. I line this up. My foot is lined up right here on the side. Okay, so we have this lined up. The foot is lined up on the side of the fabric. I do that with a lot of my stuff. I know that there's the seam allowance, and unless I'm doing a pattern test, for like patterns for pirates, I usually stay with this method for stuff for myself. And I also teach my kids to do this, unless the pattern specifically says a certain seam allowance. It's just a good guide for them to make sure that they're getting a straight line when they're sewing. So foot always lined up with the side of the fabric, especially with just a lot of craft craft making bags, that kind of thing. The scarf is a perfect example. Just teaches them seam allowance before they start getting into these hard lines over here. So we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to stitch. So what we're doing is we're sewing, but we're not going to close this hole up, right? Because we have to be able to pull the fabric through, so we've got our pretty side and not this ugly side of the fabric. So we're just going around. And I know I'm getting close to where I started, because here's that spot. So we want to make sure that we are about, give it at least 4, you want about 4 inches. So you can see this is where I started right here. I'm going to end right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. Okay, so I pulled it out of my machine, and now I have, like, getting cut off here. So I've got that little teeny hole. So I'm now going to pull everything through that hole. And it can be hard sometimes, just work it slowly. And honestly, like, make sure you do your reverse at the beginning and the end when you're going in that round, so that you can manhandle this without your stitches like popping. If you do pop a couple, it's okay, because we're gonna ladder stitch anyways, right? So we're gonna close it up. So I'm pulling and pulling. It's almost there. Okay, perfect. So I've now got my scarf almost done. We've got to close up that small hole. So you're gonna need a needle. I'm not getting cut off. You're gonna need a needle and thread, okay? It doesn't matter what color it is, because you're literally not gonna see the thread. Okay, so I have my needle, and I just took a piece of thread and pulled it the same length and tied it at the end. See? So it's just got a big knot at the end. So grab our scarf here. Let me find my end. So this is a simple ladder stitch. So if you know how to ladder stitch, that's what you're gonna do. I actually I've been sewing for like 20 years, and I did not realize how easy a ladder stitch is, but it's very, very simple. So you're gonna take, you got your hole, you're gonna take your thread here, and so see, I don't know if you can see this, let me see. Okay, so we're gonna take our thread and pull it up, our needle, put it up through like this, so that end that's all knotted in there is hidden underneath, right? So the thing with the ladder stitch is it's just like what it says. It's gonna look like a ladder, so we're going on rows, right? We're going back and forth. So you're always going directly across. So you're gonna come across here, and you're gonna put your needle through the other side of the fabric directly across, and you're just gonna bring it, let me see, is that okay? You're just gonna bring it up so it looks like this, and you're now gonna go across, down, oops. So directly across from where you just, that other thread is. And pull it through like that. And now you'll see that if I pull this, see how that stitch just disappeared? This is the one from I sewed. So it just disappeared. So now we're just going to repeat that. So we're going to go over to the other side, directly across. We're going to put our needle in and up. Come on, camera. Like so. And then if you see that and pull, your stitches go away. See how that works? So you're just going to continue doing that. Okay, so you can see my like stitches that I just did, my ladder stitches. I just haven't pulled it tight. So I'm just going to show you that once you pull it tight, your stitches are now gone. You see that? Minus this little one that's just from where I stopped sewing on my machine. So I'm just going to trim that little piece off. So then what you're going to do is you are going to knot this real quick. I do 2 knots. And then, let me see, like so. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to pop it down inside my scarf. Down here. And then I'm going to have it just come out a random spot with my threads. I'm going to clip them so you can see that little teeny tail. I'm going to pull it so I make sure. Can you see that? Camera. Fix yourself. There you go. So I'm just pulling till that tail disappears where my actual thing was. See? And now I have this like long random tail. I'm gonna clip it a little bit closer. And then I'm just going to pull till it disappears. Okay, so now got it done. You can go ahead and wrap it. So this is 22 inches by 72. And it's the Snuggle Flannel. So I think it's like a little bit thinner helps. And my zipper, it's really hidden. My it is. I literally can't find it. Oh, here it is. Ta-da! There's my pocket. I hope that helped. Bye, girls.